Welcome to the news at 10, coming to you live from Uyo, the Ibom state capital. My name is Ofonono Joseph. Let's take a look at the top stories. President Tinubu appoints board members for Nigerian Communications Commission and Universal Service Provision Fund. Federal government orders withdrawal of case against Ibom Airline passenger. Plus, Trump to speak to Zelensky before Putin summit in Alaska. Good morning. Many thanks for joining us on the news at 10. Commissioner, Stakeholder Management, Chris Okorie, amongst others. The President also approved the board of the USPF, chaired by the Minister of Communications, Innovation and Digital Economy, Bosun Tijani, with Olorunibe as Vice Chairman. According to the Presidency, USPF was established by the federal government to facilitate the achievement of national policy goals for universal access and service to information and communication technologies in rural, unserved and undeserved areas. In the meantime, Vice President Kashim Shettima has commissioned the federal government's ultra-modern information communication and technology ICT hub for micro, small and medium enterprises MSMEs in Calabar with the newly refurbished State Library complex that houses the facility. The ICT hub, he said, was part of President Bola Tinubu's pledge to support ventures that dare to redefine the future of work, skills and industries in Nigeria. Shettima also inaugurated two newly acquired 100-seater Bombardier CRJ-1000 jets for Cali Air, the state-owned airline, and launched the 8th expanded national MSME clinics in Cross River State, where outstanding small business owners received 250,000 naira each in unconditional grants. According to a statement by Senior Special Assistant to the President on Media and Communications, Office of the Vice President, Stanley Nkwocha, Shettima said this is not alone, stressing that it is a gift to accelerate the journey. He noted that the initiative brings government agencies such as the Corporate Affairs Commission, NAFTAC, Bank of Industry, and SMEDAN directly to the doorstep of entrepreneurs to resolve challenges on the spot. Moving away from that, the First Lady, Senator Oluremi Tinubu, has called for sustained investment in the nation's youth. She described the nation's young population as central to building a more connected, just and sustainable world. In her message to mark this year's International Youth Day, celebrated on August 12 under the theme, Youth Advancing Multilateral Cooperation through Technology Holders to amplify young people's voices and support their initiatives, the First Lady applauded the strength and creativity of young Nigerians, saying their contributions are already visible in innovation, enterprise and advocacy. She maintained that empowering the youth with skills, opportunities and platforms would further enhance their role as drivers of national and global. In a separate development, the federal government has presented the Foreign Carrier Operation Permit FCOP to Air Tanzania Company Limited at the Ministry of Aviation and Aerospace Development Headquarters in Abuja. A statement signed by the in the aviation sector explained that the FCOP will standardize procedures, ensuring seamless international best practices. According to him, regional integration and cooperation in West Africa and beyond. Meanwhile, the federal government has ordered the withdrawal of the case against Comfort Imanson on an Ibom air flight on August 10, 2025. The development came after Imanson was remanded in prison following the incident. A statement by the Minister of Aviation and Aerospace Development, Festus Keyamo, today said the move was necessitated following consultation with critical stakeholders and those involved in the unfortunate incidents regarding the unruly behaviors of certain individuals at the airports. Reports say Imanson had allegedly attacked a flight attendant and clashed with security operatives at the airport. The alleged assault led to her being arraigned and remanded at the Kirikiri Correctional Center in Lagos State on Monday. In a related development, Inspector General of Police IGP Olukayode Egbetokun has ordered an investigation into the alleged obstruction of a value jet aircraft by Fuji musician Wasiu Ayinde Marshall, popularly known as Kwam1. The incident occurred on August 5 at the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport, Domestic Wing, Abuja. The musician was prevented from boarding with a bottle of liquid, which he said was water. His reaction allegedly obstructed the safe operation of the aircraft in violation of the Nigerian Civil Aviation Regulations 2023. The Force Public Relations Officer, Olumuyiwa Adejobi, a Deputy Commissioner of Police, DCP, said the probe directive followed the receipt of a petition from the Nigeria Civil Aviation Authority, NCAA. The musician was out on the no-fly list by the NCAA in addition to letters advising the IG to investigate and the Attorney General of the Federation to prosecute him. Meanwhile, the pilot and co-pilot of the ValueJet airline also got their licenses suspended pending the conclusion of information. On electoral matters, the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has said it will start the continuous voter registration, CVR, across the country on August 18 in preparation for the 2027 general election. The exercise will take place at the various ward registration centers nationwide. INEC has released a list of about 811 registration centers across the country for the exercise, which is expected to be conducted in 3 phases. According to the Commission, online pre-registration will open on August 18 via its dedicated portal, cvr.inecnigeria.org, for pre-registration activities. It announced that physical in-person registration will begin a week later, on August 25, and will take place across all local government area offices and designated registration centers across the country. The Commission stressed that the exercise will hold from Mondays to Fridays, starting at 9 a.m. and ending at 3 p.m. daily. We move now to Africa, where Egyptian President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi has held talks with his Ugandan counterpart Yoweri Museveni in Cairo, in which the continuous topic of River Nile was discussed. At a joint press conference with Museveni, Sisi vowed to take all measures to protect his country's water security. Sisi's remarks were in reference to Ethiopia's Grand Renaissance Dam. GERD, fearing the dam will reduce the amount of water flowing to it. Reports say a decade of negotiations between the downstream nations and Ethiopia has failed to produce an agreement. Ethiopia has accused Egypt and Sudan of seeking to curtail its development ambitions. Recall that last year, a new Nile Water Sharing Accord, the Cooperative Framework Agreement CFA, backed by 7 countries, took effect, drawing protests from Cairo and Khartoum. The Nile River has long been a focal point of geopolitical tension in Eastern Africa, particularly between Egypt and Ethiopia. On the foreign scene, Donald Trump will hold virtual talks with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky. According to report, the call will come 2 days before Trump meets Russian President Vladimir Putin in Alaska on Friday for what the White House says will be one-on-one talks. The White House describes the Putin meeting as a listening exercise for Trump. Zelensky says the Alaska summit is a personal victory for Putin, while the White House says Trump could travel to Russia for further talks. Still on the foreign scene, the wife of South Korea's former president Yoon Suk-yeol has been arrested over a raft of charges, including stock manipulation and bribery. Former First Lady Kim Hee denied all charges during a 4-hour court hearing in Seoul, but the court issued a detention warrant, citing the risk that she may destroy evidence. Prosecutors say Kim, 52, made over 800 million won by participating in a prize-rigging scheme involving the stocks of Dutch Motors. She also allegedly accepted 2 Chanel bags and a diamond necklace as bribes from the controversial Unification Church in exchange for business favors. Among other charges, Kim is also accused of meddling in candidate nominations during the parliamentary by-elections in 2022 and the general elections last year. Still to come in the news. Sudan beats Nigeria 4-0 to end Eagles' campaign. Stay tuned for details of these and more stories in a jiffy. Welcome back and many thanks for sticking with us. Now we conclude the rest of our news stories. On our business news, the federal government has reaffirmed its commitment to ensuring a steady gas supply from Nigeria to Togo, Benin Republic and Ghana in a bid to tackle energy poverty and promote economic prosperity in the West African sub-region. The Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, Gas, Ikberikbeikbu, made this known in Abuja during a meeting with the outgoing and incoming managing directors of the West African Gas Pipeline Company. In a statement by the minister's spokesman, Louis Iba, Ikbo said the Tinubu-led government is committed to ensuring steady gas supply to neighboring countries, including the Benin Republic, Togo and Ghana, to combat energy poverty and foster economic prosperity. As chairman of the Committee of Ministers of the West African Gas Pipeline, the minister noted that President Bola Tinubu's administration has made significant strides in advancing the gas sector over the past 2 years, marked by notable progress in developing gas infrastructure, reducing gas flaring, and increasing gas availability for both export and domestic consumption. He pledged the federal government's support for the new managing director, Abiodun Boduri, to to excel in his assignment. Still talking business, the Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority (NMDPRA) has reported that Nigeria consumed 1.48 billion litres of premium motor spirit petrol in June. This is a sharp decline in the supply of the product compared to May. According to the NMDPRA Director of Public Affairs, George Eneita, the agency's submission to the Federation Accounts Allocation Committee shows the total evacuation for June 2025 to be 1.44 million litres, while the daily average reported stood at 48 million litres. According to the latest figures in the report, PMS supply fell by 290.5 million litres from 1.77 million litres in May to 1.48 billion litres in June, representing a 16.42% drop. We move over to health. The United Nations Children's Education Fund